Yo, yo, RX back with another stream. This time it is Tuesday night at the beginning of Fight Week, which means it is Fight Week. This time UFC Mexico Fight Week, and yeah, and another week. This card actually looks like it might actually happen. Because, oh god, there's some doubt coming into the week. But, looks like the fighters are in Mexico and ready to card. So, we have something to talk about, and we're going to break it down tonight. Not in as much depth as we usually would. That's what the videos are for. But, we are going to talk about it here and have some fun. So we're gonna do that. Talk about the fight news we've had over the week, and look at the rankings. So a lot of good shit to talk about. Maybe my favorite stream of the week, just because it is what it is. A lot of fun shit to talk about and all that. And start of it all. Nice little break yesterday. We're right back into the swing of things today. So let's see what happens. Got a lot to talk about. Let's do it. Get screen share. Oh. I think we're good. And I don't think I've ever used this background before, even though it's actually kind of badass. So yeah, I'm happy to finally be using this background. I thought I did before. I don't remember it. Badass background. Ready for a badass night. Let's talk about some shit. Again, we'll talk about this, but this also will be the last thing we talk about because a few other things to talk about first. And this is the longest thing to talk about, so we'll talk. Again, make sense to do this last. And this is the main event as well. So I'm going to talk about the fights we've got over the last week. There's plenty, good, bad, and everything in between. But as always, we're going to begin by looking at the updated top 15s after UFC Houston. So let's do that. Beginning with, for some reason, they took out Lonnie Kavanaugh right before he was about to main event a card for Joseph Morales. Whatever fucking logic is behind that, you tell me, but yeah, now half of the main event this week is unranked, so good job, UFC. You fucking it'll fly along for a guy who doesn't even deserve to be ranked. Make that make sense. Over at featherweight, we had Milky Costa finally get his top 15 spot, long overdue. And actually, they took Danny Ige out of the top 15, not David Onama. So now Melky is number 13, Vallejos is 14, Onama is still 15. Yeah, Dan Ige out of the top 15 for the first time in what years? I know it's the first time since in 2020s. I know for a fact that as long as I've been watching, Dan Ike's been in the top 15, I swear to God. So, yeah, now him out of the top 15 is kind of insane. And, yeah, man, that's weird to see, but time flies, and a lot of these guys are starting to drop out the top 15. We're about to talk about another one at welterweight in a minute. And, yeah, man, it's crazy. But when they're getting replaced by guys like Vallejos and Costa, who are as great as they are, I don't think it's that big of a loss. And either way, I think Ige will bounce back just fine, so not much to say there. Then we speak of the other fighter getting taken out the top 15 after a long time in the Jeff Neal out of the top 15. Euros Medic at number 12. Colby moves up to 13 for some fucking reason. And D-Rod's down to 15. If we look past this for being undeniably stupid, and why is he even ranked? Medic number 12. Deserved, obviously. He beat Neil, who's in that ballpark. Insane to see Eurosmevich in the rankings, but he is. He earned it, and yeah, now we see what they do with him. Who is he gonna fight on a Serbia card later in the year? And yeah, Jeff Neal out of the top 15. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Another guy who has been ranked for as long as I can fucking remember. So yeah, another just getting old guy falling out the rankings. Keeps happening more and more recently. So see who's the next one. I think this week there's definitely a case to be made for someone being it, but that's for later. Middleweight, Brandon Allen moves up to 4, Izzy up to 5, Fluffy down out of the top 5 at 6. Strickland does not move, which is bullshit. I think him and Imavov should have won above Drakus, but whatever. Either way, Fluffy out of the top 5. Can't really disagree there. Like, Izzy going above him kind of bullshit. Allen, yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, is what it is. Not much to say there. At heavyweight, a lot of movement with Jai Almeida getting released. Spivak up. Tybura, Lewis up to 9th, which is fucking insane. Teixeira, Gaziev, Parkin all up. Kuniev down 1, Delisha down 1, and Vitor Petrino now ranked for Jai Almeida getting cut. It's heavyweight, who gives a fuck? Derek Lewis is ranked in 9th on coming off one of the most embarrassing losses I've ever watched in my life, so what does it tell you? It's heavyweight, doesn't matter. And second to last, Gabriela Fernandez jumped JJ Aldridge for some bargain reason. And lastly, Jocelyn Edwards moves up to 11, where Nora Knoll and Myra, Cornell, and Tate all go down. Good. Can't complain there. So, yeah, some good and some bad. Yeah, definitely bad, good. This is good. This is just stupid. Fine. None of this matters. Sure, I guess they were bored. And yeah, this is good. So, yeah, not really much else I can add there. Nothing insane, nothing I'm like, oh, how could they do that? The guys who won on Saturday got ranked. The old dude got taken out the top 15s. And, yeah, not really much else to say there. So, about that, unless I'm missing something. Like the only thing that I could say I'm upset about is the Joseph Morales thing, but you know, that is what it is. Again, all they did was make themselves look fucking stupid, taking Lonnie out of the top 15. But UFC, no one makes UFC look dumber than the UFC, so good job there. And yeah, not a lot to say there. So simple, and that's the top 15. The updated ones, and then Tuesday night, the fights we've had booked over the last week. We've had a good amount. Let's see, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 since the last Tuesday night. And over 4 today in general, so let's get into them, shall we? Beginning, I believe we ended off on Dober Johnson. I vividly remember talking about that last week. So we begin with a... Bless me, thank you. We begin with another short notice replacement for the same fight. Alexia Theonora stepping in to fight Stephanie Luciano because Carol Froyo pulled out. So, great. Yeah, you know, great stuff there. A fight that began as Carol Froyo versus fucking Nicole Calari is now Alexia Theonora versus Stephanie Luciano. No idea how we got there. Somehow they're still Brazilian, and they're still all Brazilians stepping in for this fight. And somehow this fight's really intriguing. Theonora top 15. Luciano, one of the better unranked fighters in that division. Cool. Okay. I will just say this is what was booked the whole time because, you know, somehow they got better. Good job. Then we had another short notice replacement. We have Dante Johnson versus the fucking cockroach of MMA, Cody Brundage, the man we just cannot get rid of, no matter what. Brundage is stepping in for Dusko Todorovic, because everyone's saying Dusko pulled out to get on that Serbia card later in the year because he's one of the only 3 Serbians on the roster. If so, fine. Either way, Dante Johnson is going to beat Dusko easily and Cody even easier. So, nothing there to really say there. Now we got our first of 3 main events booked over the last week, and none of them are 327s, sadly. We have for Canada, Gilbert Burns versus Mike Malott. Yeah, main event. A 90-year-old Gilbert Burns on a losing streak versus Mike Malott, who's just terrible. That sounds great. That sounds like a great main event. Yeah, this is a piss poor main event. Canada, I'm sorry you always get fed garbage. You usually deserve better. Ranier and Allen somehow looks like a fucking great fight compared to this. And yeah, Mike Malott's gonna get an undeserved top 15 win and a spot because he beat a 90-year-old Gilbert Burns that he probably is gonna look terrible against as well. So isn't that great? What a fucking joke. I'd rather had fucking this main event because at least Jasmine has any bit of fucking talent. What a joke. And speaking of jokes, maybe even a better joke than that, we have another short notice replacement. There's a lot of these over the last week. We have Felipe Franco stepping in for McParkin to fight Mario Pinto. Felipe Franco is a guy who got exposed and lost on Contender Series a few months ago against a tomato can in his own right, and is now getting signed. A guy who everyone made fun of for being a can crusher got proven true and now is in the UFC getting to get murdered by Mario Pinto. Make that make sense. What a joke. Then we have another short notice replacement. Yeah, is this the last one? Yes, actually, thank God. We have Jiang Yang Li stepping in for Ju Seng Yu to fight Gaston Bolanos or fake Ilya Topuria. It's a bad fight between bad fighters, and but it's become an easier fight for fake Ilya. I think Ju Seng Yu is better than Jiang Yang Li, so sure, easier fight for Bolanos, harder fight to predict because they both suck. We'll be seeing that next week on the Oliveira card. Can't wait. I'm sarcastic. And then the big one, the one the first title fight booked in way too long, the co-main event of UFC 327. We have a fight that we all knew was going to happen. Now it's finally booked. Long overdue. Maybe the best title fight in this division's history. We have for the UFC Flyweight Championship, the champ Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. Oh, what a fight. I love that fight. Such a banger. The 2 best fighters in that division, like Manel Kape, could have got the shot, but Taira deserves it more. This was the right call. This is going to be a badass co-main event. Again, maybe skill-wise, the best flyweight title fight of all time because people were like, what about DJ? That those fights were one-sided in its talent. This is, both sides are stupidly talented and young. It has to be one of the youngest title fights of all time. I think, 25 versus 23 or some shit. So, this is going to be a banger. I'm very excited. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. Can't wait. Cannot fucking wait for that. Co-main for 327. How can we get the main event, please? We'll have to wait and see a bit longer. So, oh boy. Then we had Houston, and then what we've had, actually these 2 got announced during the Houston card, being with the main event for UFC Apex on April 4th, I believe. We have Hinato Moicano versus Chris Duncan. Yeah, layup for Chris Duncan. What can you really say? Moicano is done. Looking like he's gonna be on Jake Paul undercard very soon. because that Dariush fight was pathetic, and now Chris Duncan is going to beat him pretty easily and take his ranking. So I'm shocked they picked Duncan to fight Moicano, not Sal killed, not fucking a few Robovics. You picked like Duncan's good, and he I guess deserves it, but really. I think Falco could have took it, but whatever. Duncan, Moicano, main. It's a terrible main event. It's a fucking terrible fight night main event, but whatever. Duncan, Moicano, layup for Duncan. What can you say? And then the other main event booked for the end of April, I think it's 27th or something like that. Also in the Apex, Sean Brady versus Yao Quinn Buckley. You know, I actually care for this fight less than I did Moicano. I think Sean Brady's terrible. I think Joe Quinn Buckley is terrible. Probably going Sean Brady here, because Buckley just got grapple fucked by a 90-year-old Usman, so probably Brady's the pick here. But I think both are terrible, and hopefully someone pulls out and someone better steps in. Joe's Medic would be kind of fun, but we'll see. I bet you think Moicano fight might actually be better because it's more entertaining. We'll see. And then we had the final row, the fight that we had today booked, beginning with Curtis Blades versus Josh Hokett from Miami. Not on the White House card, and so Hokett's another name not going to be on the White House card. That's worrying, because who the fuck is on that card now? No Pfeiffer, no Hokett, no fucking Strickland, Holland. Who's on that card, I wonder? But this is a huge fight. Hokett getting his big fucking opportunity against a really old Curtis Blades, who looked terrible against Rizvan Kuniev, so, you know, great. Probably Hokett's gonna win this fight, to be honest. I think he's, again, if Rizvan Kuniev can beat Curtis Blades at this point, Hokett probably will. We'll see, maybe it gets exposed and everyone celebrates. We're gonna find out. That's a good fight. That's a really good fight. I don't know why they ain't on the White House card though. Next, we have back-to-back women's and bantamweight fights. I know, cover your ears and your eyes. Oh, run away, you fucking morons. We have beginning with Melissa Croden versus Daya Zalesniakova. Obviously, this is on the Canada card, Winnipeg or whatever. Fine. Somehow the lesser of the two fights here in the division. Sure, Zalesniakova should win, probably. I don't think much of Croden. I don't think much of that fight. Simple. Then we have the second to last one as of right now, and maybe the most head-scratching one of why the fuck is she still here? We have Myra Bueno Silva versus Michelle Montague. I had to remember her name for a fucking second. Michelle Montague. Why is Myra Bueno Silva still here? She's lost 4 in a row. Like, she's female Tuivasa at this point. There's no reason for her to still be here. But she's in a job out to Montague. So, that's about the long and short of that. So, simple. And then lastly, the most recent fight booked a few hours ago, and can't wait for something big to drop right after the stream, because I know my luck. We have Rafael Filho versus Lucas Rocha in the Apex. One of them. Weird Brazilian battle. Tough one to call because both are coming off good wins. It should be an interesting one. It should be an interesting, decent fight. So. And there you go. Big set of 12 fights. Obviously, the biggest ones: Blades, Taira, Moicano, Brady. I guess Malott to an extent. The worst one would probably be this one is just head. It's so mind-numbingly stupid. So with Myra still being here, and this fight's just there, so, you know, is what it is there, and, yeah, so, pretty interesting. Hopefully, I say this every week, maybe we'll ever learn what 327's main event is, or the White House card, you know, wishful thinking, I know, and, see what happens. So, not really much else to say there. Tomorrow I'll have a short out going over the next 10 fights. Because where did we leave off? I believe it was it Dumont? I believe so. do the next 10 short-wise. If you just listen to this, then no reason to watch that short unless you want to give me a view, which I don't mind. But outside of that, not really much to say. So pretty basic. And then finally, let's get to the big stuff. What we're all here for: UFC Mexico. Moreno versus Kavinov. What's gonna happen? Apparently the card's actually gonna happen, which is a shocker in its own right. But what's gonna happen in the fights on said card? That's where I come in to give my opinion. I'm not gonna give my prediction of how they win, or I'm not gonna talk about betting odds either. That's for Friday night. But I'm gonna tell you who I think wins and talk about the fights. So if you want to hear that, let's get into the shit. 13 fights, and yeah, a lot of these names you probably won't know if you listen to me. I'll tell you who they are. For sometimes I'm inaccurate, but usually I'm correct. And let's do it. Beginning with our opening fight of the night, a double debut battle at 185, the heaviest fight on the night. We have Wes Schultz versus Damian Pinas. Don't say penis, it's Pinas. Yeah, weird matchmaking here to have these two who won on the same season of Contender Series a few months ago fight each other in their debut, but clearly they're already using Wes Schultz as what he is, a jobber, two good fighters, so, that actually makes a lot of sense. Wes Schultz, obviously making his debut, he finally got his contract on Contender Series after failing the first try against Mansour Abdul Malik, now getting the win and the contract. Yeah, he's not good. He's definitely a jobber, pretty much. He's not the best fighter, and I don't think he's the worst, but he's nothing good at all. Again, I look at him as a bona fide jobber, so a little bit talented jobber, and about it. For Damian Pinas, also, again, Contender Series debutant, he actually looks like he could be something from, I think that's Aruba. What the fuck flag is that again? From, I thought it would say, well, yeah, whatever the fuck that flag is. I think it's like Aruba or something. I'm saying it wrong, my bad. But yeah, he is, again, debut here, 8-1. He looked good. He looked really good on Contender Series, getting the knockout. Yeah, dude could be something. Again, we've seen this before with a lot of fighters from Contender Series. We say they could be something, and then they never are. Maybe Pinas is he's not too old. Looks like he has a lot. Could obviously always has time to improve. Getting an easy fight here in the debut is a good way to kickstart it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So we'll see who starts off their UFC career on a win and who starts their career off on a loss. I'm going to say the winner is going to be Damian Pinas pretty soundly. I don't think much of Wes Schultz outside. He's just a high-end jobber. Pinas has a high ceiling. I would say he can really become something pretty decent. And yeah, have got good power. Seems like a better fighter. Give me Pinas here. Not really too much else to say. Again, double debut fight, ran fresh from the same Contender Series season is really weird, but I don't hate the idea. And see what happens. So, give me Damian Pinas to get the win here. I saw someone make a joke. This card is just a Contender Series fucking graduation party or some shit. It's like, yeah, most cards at this point. I think there's only, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fighters on the card who didn't come. And if you want to take out Ultimate Fighter as well, so you're taking out Moreno, you're taking out Cheeto, you're taking out Manuel to come from Contender Series as well, you're taking out Chasson, so that's 3 more than that, you're down to 6. So, what can you say? Contender Series works. And speaking of Contender Series, to another 2 set of fighters who came from Contender Series, but now are deep into their UFC careers. We have in our second fight of the night, neither making their debut. one of the only fights on the prelim that are not having a debut in it. We have Eric Silva versus Francis Marshall. And now we begin the slate of fighters who are making their return after a long layoff. Eric Silva is the first of, I think, four or five on the card. This is his first fight since, I believe, Moreno Royval 2 years ago when he hurt his leg against Mohamed Naimov. 39 years old, 0-2 in the UFC. Yeah, he's not good. This is going to be his last fight in the UFC. He's not good at all. He was old when they signed him, and now he's even older now. Yeah, let's get honest. No, let's get fucking honest. This guy's just here to lose. Then for the opponent, though, Francis Marshall, weird UFC career. Debatably, he in a world he could easily be 4-1 in the UFC. He probably should be. Should have beat William Gomez. That was debatable. He'd definitely be Myron Santos. That was not even debatable. And yeah, now he should get his. Hopefully, no judges are needed here, but we'll see. And yeah, he's actually much better than his record sakes. Again, 2 of those losses are bullshit. So yeah, not really much more I can think to say there. Yeah, dude. One of these guys could easily be 4-1 in the UFC, and the other one is 0-2 after a 2-year layoff at 39 years old. Yeah, I think I know my pick. Give me Francis Marshall pretty easily. Could easily be a lock of the night. Not saying he is, but I definitely think he could be in contention for it. Why not? He could be. He is in contention for it. And see what happens. So, yeah, not much to say there. Good to see Eric Silva back. At least not wasting space on a roster, not fighting, but it's going to be the last time we see him fighting in the UFC. Third, we have, and after that, our third fight of the night, our first female fight of the night. I'm so used to there already being a female fight on the card at the beginning. I'm like, oh wait, this is the first one. And to the casual eye who doesn't know most of these fighters, this is the prelim I would hype up the most to be a banger, as we have in our third fight of the night in the women's flyweight division. Another debut here, but it's a really good one. We have Inesta Karasketa versus Sofia Montenegro. Great last name. Yeah, this could be a banger. This is definitely a prelim I think has high ceilings of could easily be fight of the night. Mainly because of the debuting fighter here, Sofia Montenegro. Very good fighter. I compared her to female Ribovics on the Contender Series, and I stand by the idea because she is very entertaining. She got robbed on the Contender Series, so she's really 7-1. And yeah, she's a fucking psychopath. She's a crazy bitch. She is nothing like Eileen Perez. They're both Argentinian. That's not a word, Argentinian, but they're definitely nothing alike in fighting ability. At least fighting style. Eileen's a grappler. Sophia's gonna fucking try and kill you, and that's why she's female Ribovics. Is she the most skilled? Probably not. Is she entertaining? Very so. For Inesta Karasketa, was she 1-1 in the UFC? Yeah, 1-1. Not a great fighter. Coming off Contender Series a few years ago, actually beating Carly Judice, which has aged well, but I think one of their careers has went better than the other. And now she's making her return after a year away. So this is her first fight since the first card of 2025, where she got a win over Nicole Cavalari, and now she's back here trying to get number 2 and maybe stay active after this. I don't think much of Inesta at all. I don't think she's really tall and an okay striker. Not really much else there. This is one of the few fights I know. I know the betting odds for most of these fights, and most of them are really one-sided. But I'm gonna go with the underdog here. I'm gonna go Sofia Montenegro. I just don't think much of Inesta. It's a close fight, definitely. I think it's a close fight, but I'm going Sofia here. I think she's better. I think she has more of a dog in her. I think she can put on a better pace and kind of tire out Karasketa. And I think she can get the win here, so I'm gonna go with the debutante. I'm gonna go with the underdog. Give me the crazy bitch, Sofia Montenegro. Very exciting prospect, female Ribovics. I think she's gonna get the win. Well, I'm saying I hope she gets the win here again. It's very close fight and hard to predict. Could be a banger. Juan Pichagras is the best prelim by a mile. And, yeah, give me Sofia Montenegro. Not my first worrying pick of the night, where I'm not 100% confident. And, yeah, let's see how, if Inesta can kind of calm the storm, or will Sofia take over? Find out. Really good prelims there. Next, we have another debutant from Contender Series against a very old man who hasn't been talking about a debut in about 60 years. We have in our fourth fight of the night at featherweight, so we got to move up here by the old man, and a return of an old man at the same time. We have Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Javier Reyes. Douglas Silva de Andrade back for the first time since 2024. Last thing I remember hearing about him is he popped for steroids or something and had to get suspended. That's why we didn't see him in 2025. Now up at featherweight at 40 years old, off a long layoff. We'll see how he does here. He's not he wasn't a terrible fighter when he was fighting, up and down in his career, but never really a pushover. Had some moments, but now a year layoff, 40 years old, puppet division. Who knows how much longer he has left in the tank. For the opponent, Javier Reyes, coming out to Contender Series. He's not like most of these young Contender Series fighters. Like, I have a look at his record, 22-5. He's a veteran. He's more of one of those veterans you see off Contender Series, like Chidi Njokwani, a few others. So he's more experienced than your normal Contender Series alum, and he looks good on Contender Series. He got a nice knockout. Looks like he got good power. I think most of his wins are by knockout. So, yeah, he seems like a decent fighter, decent addition to the roster. And I'm going to say he gets a decent win here. Douglas Silva is a tough guy to predict and pick against. Again, he is durable as fuck and pretty decent. But a 40-year-old off a layoff, up a division against a much younger, more active guy. Yeah, I struggle to pick Andrade here, so give me Javier Reyes to get the win here. I highly doubt he finishes Douglas like most of Javier's finishes, or wins, I should say, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Should be intriguing. This could really be a barn burner as well. I think both of these could easily steal the prelims and be fun. And I'm going to go with this as being a tough veteran. Yes, of course. That's Jaime Barcelo's whole gimmick right now. But I don't think Douglas has that in him anymore, so give me Javier Reyes to get the win here. And make debutants go 2-0 to start tonight. So, yeah, going a lot of these young debuting fighters. We'll see how great that works. And a lot of them never pan out. We'll see what these do. And yeah, give me Reyes here. Next, we go to a fight that is still, as of right now, booked, but with Christian Quinones. You can never be confident, as we have in our fifth fight of the night in the bantamweight division, a fight that is very low level. And again, I still have my doubts about it actually happening, because one of these guys loves pulling out of fights. We have in our fifth fight of the night, Christian Quinones versus Chris Moutinho. Oh boy, what a fight here. I'm actually shocked this fight made it to fight week. Quinones, another fighter coming back from a long layoff. We've not seen him since, I believe, the same card as Eric Silva, the Moreno Royval card a few years ago. He has pulled out of a good amount of fights since. Now it looks like he's finally going to fight, knock on wood. And we'll see how he does. He is coming off a loss to Jaime Barcelos, which has aged really fucking well. And see if he can get back on track. I think he's only had 2 fights in the UFC, or 3. I forget who his other fight was, but yeah, kind of a do or die for him because he's so inactive. And if he were to lose this, it'd be 3 in a row. So let's see if he can actually make to the fight and win here. He is fighting everyone's favorite meme, Chris Moutinho, the guy who just gets his ass beat for fun. The sad part, I actually could see a world where Chris wins this fight because Quinones is kind of shitty. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, I don't need to tell you about Chris Moutinho. We all know he's just everyone's favorite green-haired punching bag, but maybe the punching bag will win a fight eventually. Who knows? This one worries me. Of course, I'm gonna go Quinones. You'd be fucking insane to ever pick Chris Moutinho, but again, I could see a world where Moutinho wins this fight, man. Truly, Quinones is not good, and he's been off for so fucking long. And who knows why? That Moutinho could win this, so I'm not gonna pick him. But if you were, I would understand that. So, as of right now, I'm going Christian Quinones. If he even stays in the fight again, who knows? And yeah, this is definitely not a fun one to pick because you got one guy who never shows up to fights and ain't good when he does, and one guy whose whole career has been a meme of getting punched in the face. So, oh boy, I can't wait. Give me Quinones, but I am definitely not as confident as you usually would be picking against Chris Moutinho. Next, we have our co-main event of the prelims in the top 10 women's bantamweight, an actual pretty big fight for the division. We have in our co-main event, the prelims, our final female fight of the night as well. Trying to get this high on the card. We have Macy Chasson versus Eileen Perez. MGK versus the Argentinian who shakes her ass and is somehow on a 5-fight winning streak. What is this sport? Well, I think we can just give Eileen 20% of the purse now because we know Chasson is going to miss weight. And then to talk about the actual fight, Chasson, we all know, can either show up and look really decent or really terrible. Usually it's the latter, especially lately, losing 2 in a row now. And kind of in a do-or-die situation on the scale and in the fight. For Eileen Perez, 5 in a row, somehow in the top 10 of the division, and a win here would almost put her in the top 5, which is insane. But after a while, you gotta start respecting her, because she is winning fights. Is she kind of pathetic over the shit she does? Yes, but she's winning fights, and wins against Carol Hossa and Jocelyn Edwards are actually pretty fucking good, so what can you say? Like, you can be a joke, but you also gotta kind of respect her when she does fight. And again, Carol Hossa and Jocelyn Edwards are really damn good wins that are aging pretty well. So what can you say? Is she really that much of a meme anymore? Is she actually a little bit skilled? I don't know. But does she move to 6 in a row, or does Chasson get back on track? I'm gonna go Eileen here. I think she gets the win. Chasson has never done great against grapplers. Her cardio is terrible, and her grappling is also not great. Give me Eileen. I think she. Well, actually, Macy's grappling ain't terrible, but it's not phenomenal. Again, she's just her cardio is bad, and she just had times and really look like she's not trying at all. For Eileen, we know her game plan is shoot takedowns and get you down and beat you. So yeah, give me Eileen Perez here. The only worry, I guess, Macy could catch her in a submission because she is lengthy as fuck. But aside that, Eileen should be able to lay on her and win. So the size difference is gonna be a bit of a worry, but should be fine enough. And give me Eileen Perez here to extend her winning streak to 6. What the fuck is this sport? Not much to say there. Chasson, I think, probably the last time we hear from her after this week, so see if I'm right. Now, maybe make weight, that would help. And finally, the featured prelim I'm not going to waste any time on. Jose Medina versus Ryan Gondra. Ryan Gondra, easy next. Then we move to the main card, which begins with another fight where I could do what I just did, but I'll talk about it a little bit more. Now we have our main card opener, Santiago Luna versus Angel Pacheco. For a while, I think some of us know Santiago Luna made his debut at Noche last year. Border Boy is nickname. Got a nice one against Quang Lee, 21 years old, decent looking prospect. for Angel Pacheco. We've not seen him in a long time. I think it's been like 2.5 years it might be, when he made his debut and lost to fucking Callan Longrain. That fucking joke. So, great. Back now was a shitty fighter. Even on Contender Series, when he got the contract, only got it because he had a somewhat decent fight with somebody, I forget who. So, great there as well. I think it was Danny Silva. And, now he's finally back and gonna get his ass beat here. Yeah, of course, Santiago Luna's gonna win this fight. Do you take the undefeated 21-year-old who has fought lately, or the guy who's lost 2 in a row and hasn't fought in 2 years? Yeah, I know my pick. Thank you very much. Give me Luna, another contender for lock of the night. Not really much to be said there. Next, we have the final debut of the night, but this one is good. This one is really good. The one to keep an eye on. We have our second fight of the main card at flyweight, a weight class we will hear plenty of throughout the last few fights. We have Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. My boy Emmanuel making his debut. Let's go. Yeah, I am very high on Emmanuel Rodriguez. I thought he could easily be the best fighter from Contender Series last year. He should have won the Ultimate Fighter if he didn't get robbed against Morales. 6-0, really good fighter. I think 22 years old or something like that. I'm saying if fucking as Moreno slows down more and more, someone in that division is going to carry that flag. It might be Emmanuel. This kid is really fucking good. And I could see him being one of the ones, and then I truly can. I've said that before, and sometimes I'm wrong. Most of the time I'm wrong. But sometimes I can be right, and I really think Emmanuel could be something in this division and in the UFC. This kid is special, and excited to see him here. As for the opponent, who is kind of just cannon fodder here, Kevin Borjas. Yeah, he got that nice win against Lazy Boy. What has he done outside of that? He lost. Against good fighters. I think he lost to Joshua Van, Alessandro Costa, and Sumadarji. 2 of those are understandable. One is Sumadarji. Yeah, Peruvian Kev ain't too good. Obviously, we know that. He's Kevin fucking Borjas. He's 1-3 for a reason. And, yeah. So, he's kind of just cannon fodder here. Not much to say. Yeah, obviously I'm going Emmanuel Rodriguez here. I think he's really good. I think he can be one of the ones. He's my boy, and I'm high on him, man. I'm really high on Emmanuel. Excited to see him debut here, and see how far he can go in the UFC, man. Could be the start of a really good career. I think this kid is going to be something. I'm going to pick him here. Give me Emmanuel to get the win here. See how the kid does. See if RX can ever scout talent. Usually I can't, but maybe I'll get lucky once in a while. And then we stay at flyweight for a fight that's a little bit older than the last fight, but a very, if Emmanuel could be something special because he's young, the next one can not so much because he's a bit older, but he's also very good. We have in our third fight of the main card, staying at flyweight, Edgar Shirez versus Felipe Boonies. Yeah, this is definitely not as good as Emmanuel, because Emmanuel is a really promising prospect, but Edgar Shirez is very good in his own right. Had a very interesting UFC career so far. His only losses are to Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van. I think I've heard of those two before. Beat everyone else. Fun fighter, good veteran. What can I say there? For Felipe Boonies, a guy who just got signed out of nowhere, even though he wasn't that good. One of those type of fighters. 1-2 in the UFC. Also lost to Joshua Van. And lost to Rafael Esteban. Beat Jose Johnson last year. Yeah, he's terrible. He's like 38 years old. Don't know why they signed him. Give me Edgar Shirez pretty easily. He's better. He's younger. Yeah, I could see Edgar being a top 15 dude because again, his only two losses are Van and Taira. If you go back and watch those fights, he gave those two some of the best fights of their career, like challenge wise. So he's good, and he should beat Boonies here pretty easily because Boonies is shit. And yeah, not really much else to say there. So I mean, Shira's pretty simple, pretty simple. And then we get to the big three, beginning with a fight at lightweight, the heaviest fight on the main card, which I guess is a lot, and maybe the least trustworthy one of the night, because how could you pick either of these two and have any faith? And we have in our featured bout of the main card, could be fun or could be annoying. We have Daniel Zellschuber versus King Green. Oh, I don't want to pick either of these two. I don't trust Dino Zellhuber after that piss poor Michael Johnson performance, even though Michael Johnson is still really good. And I don't want to pick Bobby Green in 2026 because he sucks. He didn't look that good against that Canadian dude. And there's a strong case to be made the Canadian dude should have won. So, does that tell you? I don't trust this fight at all. Either one of them. So Huber has underperformed most of his UFC career. King Green is super old. Good luck. Good luck predicting this one. I think the odds are off. I think Huber is minus 500 or some shit again, like he was against Michael Johnson, and again went so great last time, fighting another veteran. I don't have good faith in either one of these two, but I guess I'll pick Daniel Zellhuber. I don't got a lot of confidence in that pick because, again, Zellhuber is Zellhuber, but gotta pick someone. I'm not picking Bobby Green in 2026 when he looked pretty terrible against Lance Gibson late last year. So, guess I'm going Daniel Zellhuber as little as I want to, but I will not be shocked at all if fucking Bobby Green does the same thing MJ did and kind of just embarrasses him and beats him. So I'm not confident. Don't think it's gonna be that great of a fight because Bobby Green's kind of annoying to watch fight at this point. But let's find out, man. Give me Huber. No confidence at all. Don't think he should be a giant favorite because again, do we not just learn from his last fight? And yes, MJ is much better than Bobby Green right now, but still. See what happens. Let's see what happens. And then we have the co-main event of the evening, a pretty decent fight in the bantamweight division's top 15 to see how far, well not how far, but to help this kid climb the rankings a bit more, taking out another old dude. We have in our co-main event of the evening, bantamweight, Marlon Chito Vera versus David Martinez. Yeah, Martinez is gonna win this fight. I don't really need to lie much there. Chito's on the downswing if he's not been for the last couple years. We can all agree Chito's career is made off of one moment of a fluke injury against O'Malley, which shouldn't even really fucking count, but whatever. That's his whole career in a nutshell, since he's done nothing, really. So, he's just, even though he did beat Sahabi, we can all agree there. We can also agree Chito's kind of washed. Not kind of, he is washed. For Martinez, young, good fighter. I think he's 2-0 in the UFC now. Beat Rob Font on short notice last time. They look the greatest, but is what it is. Should do the same here and hopefully look better against Chito, who we know is a slow starter, and will probably need a finish in round 3 to win this fight that he ain't gonna get. So give me David Martinez, get the win here. Younger, faster, better, simple. How much to say there? Chito is done. I would not be shocked if it's close to the last time we see him. So not much to say there. And then the main event of the evening, a fight that makes fuck all sense, but oh boy, can't wait. We have in the main event of the evening in the flyweight division on short notice because you couldn't pull anyone better. We have Brandon Moreno versus Lana Kavanagh. Yeah, obviously Moreno's gonna win this fight. No shit. I like Lonnie. I think he's a really good fighter, but why the fuck is he in this fight and not anyone else they could have called? Bruno Silva, fuck Alex Perez, Brandon Royval, Paulo Nascimento, Rafael Filho, fucking Daniel Rodriguez or Edgar Chivas would have made more sense. Like, could you not pick someone coming off a fucking win? Like, I don't get it at all. But whatever, I guess. Yeah, a layup for Moreno, just like Asuran Labayev was. This is a layup for Moreno, and poor Lonnie's gonna take another L when he does not need it. That is that. So, not much to say there. And there you go. That's about that. I'll say right now, if Lonnie wins that fight, it'll be one of the biggest upsets in MMA history because it wouldn't. I don't even know how he would win this fight. So if he sparks out Brandon Moreno, I will lose every bit of shit ever. But it's not happening. So there you go. Let's see. What if I get everything right? What will the Mexican's record be on this card? Let's see. So Quinones 1. So Luna 2, Emmanuel 3, Edgar 4. So they go undefeated. If you want to count like the fucking Argentinians and Venezuelans and whatever. So let's see, Eric Silva's a loss. Montenegro 1-1. Reyes 2-1. Perez 3-1. Medina 3-2. So overall, what would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 3 overall. So the only fight that they have nothing in is this one. And yeah, that's the only fight they have nothing in. Right? Or can I not count? Probably not. I'm kind of fucking stupid. So yeah, how crazy. How crazy. So, yeah, I think the Mexicans are going to have a pretty good record on this goddamn card, but it could always be wrong. So, we'll see what happens. It's not a bad card again. I know a lot of people are going to downplay it because they don't know who half the people are on it. And I don't blame you because there's a lot of debuting guys and a lot of long overdue return guys, but no, that is what it is. Maybe some of them will look great, some of them will look terrible, everything in between. So, just got to watch and see. Saturday afternoon, I'm excited, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So, another week of fights. Can we finally get a good card, please? And great poster. I'll give them that. See what happens. Not really much else you can say there. And with that being said, I think that's about all I gotta say for tonight. An hour later, no comments. I've seen the views go up and down. No shout out to anyone who just came in to listen. I appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's about all I got for tonight. I don't really got much else to add, except no one here anyway. So yeah, I don't know. Was the last Tuesday just a goddamn fucking rarity? Like, do I need to talk about Gina Carano more? I don't get it. But yeah. Talk about the rankings, the fights, the fights. I can't hear anything else to talk about. No one's here anyway, so I think that's about it. Unless someone wants to come in and say something, y'all always fucking do that. If that doesn't happen and we're done for the night, then that's that, man. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Not thrilled about going 55 minutes and no one watching, but that's life, ain't it? And we'll be back on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night for streams. Breakdown and recap on Friday and Sunday, and then we'll have a short out tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, and then we'll go again throughout the week. Being on the lookout for those. Not like I would say turn on the notifications, but I'm not gonna send them out anyway. And yeah, I think that's about that, man. If anyone has anything they want to throw in before we get out of here, but it seems like y'all are cool with just listening, which again, I appreciate. Love y'all if you're listening or not. If you don't show up, then fuck you, and you won't know I said that because you didn't show up. So, ha. And yeah, that was really it for the night. I guess Tuesday night. Hope hope everyone's week is going good so far. It's the middle of the week, Wednesday, media day, weigh-in. Well, not weigh-in day, but media day, photo shoot day, etc., etc. So we'll see what happens there. And yeah, not really much else to say there. So maybe we'll get some fight news. People are rumoring that 327 will finally get announced today or tomorrow. So hopefully, I doubt it. And we'll see what happens. So not really much else to say there. Outside of, I hope you enjoy the stream. Please like, comment, subscribe too. I'm supposed to go by the end of 2026. Never happen. When I get 200 subs, we are going to hit 700 pieces of content on the channel. Coming probably this weekend, we'll hit 700, which is batshit insane. So yeah, we'll have 700 videos, streams, shorts, whatever, and with 196 views to show for it. And yeah, that's about that, man. So I don't know what else to say. Outside of, as always, RX out. Good vibes only. And always.